All right, everybody, it's Parents Corner time. And so today I want to talk a little bit about doing blocking drills at home and some of the goals and what you want to focus on for your blocking drills. And so right now I've got this, it's kind of like a Nerf bat or a foam bat. You don't need to have a special piece of equipment to practice this stuff. There are a lot of things at home that your kids either have as toys or that are really easy to pick up that work great for doing blocking. And so whether that's a piece of pipe insulation, like the foam that you can pick up at a hardware store, a pool noodle that's just sitting in the garage or in the attic, or anything that is not too heavy is sort of the key. It doesn't necessarily have to be soft as long as you're not going to swing it that hard. So you can even use like a toy lightsaber. You just have to make sure that when you swing it, you're not going to bonk their arms with it, because that's where they're going to not want to do this anymore. But so the goal when you're doing a blocking drill with your students is you want to give them the practice having their eyes track an object that's moving so that they then have to use their arms to protect their body. And part of what we're working on is thinking about, okay, I get my arm up to defend myself, but part of it is also you gotta teach them how the brain will signal to get their arm to where they need it to go based on what they're looking at. In the same way that a kid playing basketball has got to practice seeing the hoop, shooting, and getting the ball there. And then when they see what the ball does, and then the next time, oh, I got to do it a little bit harder. Or that was too hard. I need to take a little bit off of it. Or the way that when you're playing catch, you change up the distance, so they learn how to throw different distances, and they learn how to catch different heights and things like that. And so blocking, what we're actually doing is a lot of that same eye and hand connection in the brain, and by getting physical contact on the different parts of the body as they practice this, it's also going to help stimulate a lot of brain development. And so when you start, you really want to focus on sort of from horizontal in a circle to the other horizontal. And then as you get comfortable and as they get comfortable, then you'll mix in stuff that's like coming low and things like that. You want to start off pretty slow and be pretty rhythmic, and it's going to help them kind of get into a groove. If you change your speed a bunch at the beginning, or you start kind of lobbing tricks at them right away, trying to get them crossed up and things like that, then it's really difficult for them to get the benefit out of this. You want to be able to get a good 30 seconds of having them track and block, and as the time progresses, you make it a little bit more complicated. You make it a little bit more complicated by attacking from different angles or changing direction on and things like that, or like starting high and transitioning low, all those sorts of things. At the beginning, you want to think about nice, clear body and arm movement, and that'll help them track so that they can get their arm where they need it to go, where their eyes are telling them it needs to go. That's the brain training we want to do with a blocking drill. It's actually not really a self-defense drill. It's way, way more an eye and hand drill. And then there's other ways that we'll do self-defense drill with blocking. But from a self-defense standpoint, if you're doing a lot of blocking, you're probably not doing it right. From a self-defense standpoint, if you end up in a situation where you're doing a whole lot of blocking, then you're putting yourself in a very difficult position to be successful. And so a blocking drill is way more about training other skills, right? And so as I go through my strikes, as they get, kind of into pattern and their success, I'm going to start to mix it up. And then I want to start working them from sides to sides and from high to low, and sort of make them move from one side of their body to their other side of their body. And that's going to help with the brain stimulation and everything else. And as they get more comfortable, I can do things like starting here and then changing kind of at the last minute and stuff like that. I want to be really, really careful about any kind of contact on the head. Some of them, it's not going to be an issue at all, but some kids, especially if they get tapped on the ear or tapped on the head, even if it's not something that causes any kind of like physical movement, like it doesn't impart enough momentum that they got to move, or that actually causes pain or anything like that. But you want to be careful around the head, because there are some kids that just sort of becomes, all right, we're done. Like this happened, and now I'm going to need to emotionally recover or whatever. And so as you're doing the blocking drill, you're going to know your littles the best. and depending on the speed you're going to go and what their comfort level is and things like that, what you can use at home to do these. So this has been Master Allen. Thank you again for coming to Parents Corner, and I will see you again soon.